Hey mathematicians, let's do your second to last homework assignment of the entire school year. Okay, here we go. The basic skills we want to watch out, especially for part A. When we have fractions and we are dividing them, we are going to keep the first fraction exactly as it is. And then we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So like when we're solving algebra and we do inverse operations to undo a problem so we can figure out what P is, it's similar. We're going to do the opposite of dividing, which is multiplying, the inverse operation. And we're going to do, it's kind of like the opposite of 1/4. The reciprocal means we flip. It was 1/4, now it's 4/1. We get 20/8, and you need to make sure to simplify your final answer. I don't need it to be a mixed number, I just need it to be a simplified fraction. If it's easier for you to make it a mixed number and then simplify that fraction, that's fine. But mixed number or improper fraction, so long as you are simplifying, you're good to go. You could actually even change it into a decimal. Speaking of decimals, when you multiply these numbers, make sure to put your decimal point 1, 2, 3 spaces from the end. Watch out for your negative positive relationships when you multiply these two integers. And finally, when you lose something bad, when you take away something bad, that's actually good. You're going to add the two numbers in D. All right. In 17, I want you to explain to me the differences between lowercase b and uppercase b in these two formulas. So when you're finding the area of a rectangle, our base is a line, this lowercase b. When you're finding volume, the formula we use, or the formula that's on the star chart, has a capital B, which does not mean base. It actually means all this space. So explain the differences, explain the similarities, and bonus, write me the actual equation that we've been using for volume because the capital B gets a little confusing and I'd rather you use a different one that's not on your chart. Speaking of your star chart, if you didn't listen to the directions in class, you might be panicking a little bit because you don't remember the area formula for a trapezoid. If this was a star test, you could look it up on your paper copy or in the reference button in the middle of the top of your screen. But since this is neither, I will be your star chart. Here is the area formula for a trapezoid. Your bases are your two parallel lines. Your legs are the two non-parallel lines. Eventually, these two legs or lines would intersect, not parallel. And your height is standing up straight and tall, making a right angle with your base. Follow your order of operations, do what's in the parentheses first, and then you can multiply in any order. If you want to cut something in half first, great. If you want to multiply it times the height first, great. You just got to do the second step of whichever one you didn't do the first time to finish out your answer. On the back, we have this beautiful backyard. George's backyard is 30 feet wide and 60 feet long. And then he makes a little garden in his yard. It doesn't take up all the space, but it takes up some space. If it's garden, it's growing vegetables or flowers or something that's not grass. And if it's the yard, we're going to assume the rest of his yard is grass. Obviously, my grass is pink. You don't have as fancy a yard as I do. There it is. Okay, so you want to know first what the area of the entire yard, whether it's grass or garden, is. The area of a rectangle is the base times the height. Don't forget your units, which should have an exponent of 2, not on the number, but on the unit, because it's area. It's in squares. What is the area of the garden? Only this, here we'll change. My garden is going to be a beautiful blue color. Only the area of the garden next. Again, area is base times height. If you would rather not multiply with fractions, you can change 7.5 into a decimal version of 7.5 before you multiply. Make sure you have your units. Finally, the question is, what's the area of the yard that's covered by grass? By my hot pink grass here. It's not the entire area of the yard. It's not the area of the garden. It's what's left over after you took out the grass to build your garden. Took out means subtract. So you are going to take your total area from A, your area of the garden from B, subtract them, and that's going to give you the area that's only covered by grass and not by your garden. And now you're done with your homework, and you only have one more math assignment until the end of the school year, because as soon as the STAR is over, STAR is happening on Wednesday, please be here on time. As soon as the STAR is over, we are not having homework again. Last thing on homework, if you have a homework pass, you're probably not watching this video, but just in case, reminder, if you have a homework pass, this assignment and the assignment you'll get on Monday are your last chance to use them, because you're not going to have anything to use them on after this. Have a great weekend, and I will see you on Monday.